As a reminder to everyone, we are casting. Yeah, we are casting in English. We do also have a German caster in Bel Air. We have a Russian caster in Glide, and 2 Korean casters, Maddox and Into the Inu.
And Gang's all here.
I'm throwing you a chancho. Throwing him to you.
What?
We also have Pig casting in English as well.
Right, and Pig's also, yeah. Wait, a chancho.
El chancho, sí.
You mean a carnitas?
Oh, ooh, the pork belly.
Ah, oh, is that what it translates to? Apareciendo en la esquina del mapa. En la esquina del mapa, el jugador Protoss de color que va a representa Africa Freaks Lit. Eres libre.
Sí.
Bendiciendo todas las iluvias con todos las iluvias con su escudo de Ayer, el CEO de Shield. Nick Fury mismo es estadísticas. Stats. Boys.
Jóvenes. Y aquí en la esquina inferior de la manta romanticido doble E, aquí tenemos representando el dragón Phoenix. Jugando tenemos el Protoss rojo, el paciente asesino sobrevivió a la pasedía y ahora enfrenta el escudo, el músculo limón. Aquí tenemos Zest.
Arriba.
Ay, ay, ay. I called him the muscly lemon.
Oh, muscly?
Yeah.
Oh, the muscle. Yeah, there's like muscles.
I was
Not muscles, the shellfish. Muscles, the biceps.
I was trying to go for like the chisel toss because that's his nickname. Yeah. But chisel like translates a little bit awkwardly, so I'm like, I'll go for muscles instead.
It's referring to like stones.
Yeah, yeah. Oh god.
Muscle toss. I like it actually. They don't have mouths, so you know they have more mass distribution to other parts of the body.
There you go. He is all about that mass.
Sunday?
It's Sunday in America.
Yeah. And you know Zest is probably going to play in ESL NA as well.
I would imagine. Honestly, he's been very sporadic with that. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It depends if he wakes up in time. Hopefully, as a reminder, we will be casting ESL Americas as well in 12 hours.
Oh, that's right.
I'll be casting that.
It's going to be light as well as milk and cookies, I'm assuming.
That it will.
There we go.
Oh boy.
And yeah, we'll see if Zest is able to continue that. Continue on with that. He might. I mean, he did get picked up on Dragonfing's Gaming recently, so you know, might want to just try to represent the team a little bit more.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
We shall see. I mean, as we kick off this series stats, he is opening up with his Stargate, so he's looking to go across the map with this Oracle. We'll see if he does anywhere near as much damage as Nice was able to earlier in this tournament.
Yeah, signature stats fashion. He's prioritizing the Oracle before the Void Ray, but also trying to get a little bit of multi-pronged pressure here with his existing Stalkers. He might be able to take out that shield battery. Ooh. Come on, 2 more volleys.
Oh god, he's getting good
volleys. That's making it very difficult on him.
Yeah, the force fields were beautiful. Almost takes out one of the Stalkers. So close. If the Shade finishes, he can chase it down.
Oh, does not commit to that. And Stats actually revealing his hand a little bit quickly here. Zest should have a lot of... He did juke around, taking out 2 of these probes. Now he's juking again.
Oh
Should
my
be able
god.
to take out at least another probe with this Oracle. Might be able to take out a couple more.
Wow.
4 probes, that ain't bad. That ain't bad for a single Oracle.
Yeah, exactly. And the Oracle was shown a little bit early, but it did allow that lone Stalker to survive for stats. And we have a second Oracle coming in as well.
And it was all going to stack up in the end. And this time the Oracle, ooh, playing with fire a little bit here.
Ooh, a little bit indeed. Meanwhile, the Oracle in the main base doesn't dive in. He does look to escape the clutches of the corner of the map and does get out.
Indeed it does, and actually gets a little bit more difficult for stats to start, you know, being a little bit more risky with these Oracles, like he would want to do, right? He would with these two Oracles, he prefer to just go in and tank damage on one of these Oracles while the other does the work, but since they're both really low, it's not gonna be easy for him to do.
Yeah, especially not with these hallucinations, just camping the Oracles, making sure like that Stats knows, that Zest knows that Stats is in the corner.
If Stats was looking at that, or had his camera over on this side of the map, he must have been getting a bit of a headache there. I imagine it's just, it's basically the equivalent of Zest getting right up behind him and snapping fingers on both sides of his ear.
Oof.
Not quite getting that Oracle. Could have been close.
But Zest does reveal his blink. I mean, Stats did go in earlier. He did see the Twilight Council, so he's aware that Zest did prioritize that over anything else, like a Robo. So he is now shown that he does have blink. Meanwhile, Stats not too far behind with his own blink and his own +1.
Yeah, meanwhile, however, Zest did get blink, but he's actually not going to be focusing on the Stalkers this game, going for Chargelets and presumably Archons. You'll love to see it, or at least I do.
Interesting, especially because I'm pretty sure Stats didn't get to see that the Twilight Council resumed researching after Blink was finished because of the Stalkers that were kind of zoning out those Oracles. So that is some information that Stats isn't quite aware of. We'll see if it comes into play.
I think you're underselling the importance of the Salute Phoenixes just a little bit. You know?
True. They played their part.
Yeah, they annoyed Sats.
And we do see they are expanding, but yeah, a couple of interesting expansions here as Zest is going straight for his 4th.
Well, he knows that this is Stats. Stats will only be aggressive when he knows that he can get away with it 100%, right? We've seen him do in the past, but for the most part, he would rather just get himself to a comfortable economy and then start applying pressure across the map.
Yeah, this is why, like, I know that you were looking at Google Translate earlier, but I was expressing that when it comes to this PvP, it will most likely, this series will be longer than the previous ones. We will most likely get into that mid game and maybe even the late game, like between these two, as they aren't anywhere near as aggressive as someone like Patience or Nightmare.
I expect at least one all-in from both of these players at some point.
I would expect Zest to do it at least once this series. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Not this game, but
I guess in Stats' case, it's it's less of an all-in and more of just an aggressive opening. Zest is being so greedy.
Stats is still on 3
bases. Away with this. Stats has no presence on the map.
Stats is still on 3 bases and Zest is getting a 5th. And Stats, he's the shield of fire for a reason. Look at all these stasis wards. Like, he is ready for an attack. He's like, come at me, bro. And Zest is like, nah, mate. I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna chill over here with all this money.
Zest is pulling a rogue.
Oh my god, he is.
I mean, they are teammates now. He might have given him a couple of pointers on Romanticide.
I guess so.
But if you know your opponent's gonna be defensive like this, do what I did against you when you did this.
Yeah.
Be very greedy.
Oh my god, and he, as you said, he has gotten away with this. He's fully saturated on 4 bases. Stats is finally moving out with his Oracles, but he still hasn't seen much at all. He confirmed the 4th.
He doesn't suspect it's there.
Yeah, he has no idea about the 5th.
I know he's getting the 4th of his own, but again, I feel like Zest just took too much. He expanded his economy too quickly, and as you said, getting away with it, he got the majority of his infrastructure with that. And I mean, look at that. He's just nowhere near close to getting too low. I mean, just look at the income difference alone.
Exactly, the income difference is insane. I also love the position of like this tech. This is like a what are you gonna do about it? Robo placement, robo and robotics bay. It's just in the face, as forward as it could be, and no fear whatsoever from Zest. And he's just doing whatever he wants. To be fair, when it comes to PvP, when it comes to the compositions they're going for, like it's still up in the air because of the disruptor shots.
It really is. Stats going to be the first player to diversify his AoE damage. Or sources of AoE, if you prefer. Zest, I thought he might walk into a Stasis Ward, unfortunately, but no, he does have the Observer around. He knows that there are those units. Really get used to the Blink.
Look at that. Beautiful. Beautifully done. I was about to say that if Zest got a little bit too aggressive and moved forward and got all of this stasis, then Stats could time it and just absolutely annihilate the entire army once it comes out of stasis with those Novas. But Zest, he was aware.
Yeah. And at that point, that's the last thing you want to happen to you when you're being as greedy as Zest is. So, yeah, that's kind of why he's playing it out as cautiously as he is.
Definitely. And now look at this triple disruptor production from Zest, very quickly catching up. A couple of moments ago he didn't have a single disruptor.
Not even that. Now he's starting to work on his Stargate with a fleet beacon immediately on the way. Zest wants to get to that end game before the mid game happens.
Yeah, exactly. And he has the money to spend, to be honest. He has too much money. He has 2k minerals right now. He doesn't know what to spend his money on.
Man. Oh, man. He's heard one too many Zest Bank memes.
I mean,
he's just laying into it now.
Definitely.
Embracing the meme.
He's just laying back, and he does trigger that stasis. There is another stasis in that mineral line, though. Zealot run by not doing too much damage, and Stats, oh my god, he's just on top of it.
Making use of those oracles. A little bit of an unfortunate stasis placement there. They get triggered by the stasis adepts.
That it did, and Stats has to be a little bit careful here. I mean, we're getting to the point where both players are maxed out, but Zest has 4 carriers on the way. He just has to survive.
And a massive bank behind us as well. He does just need to survive, take out as many units of Stats as he can. And from there, I mean, again, he has such a production advantage that he should be able to just take a victory, win any war of attrition.
That he should. What's a little bit scary, and Zest has done this in the past, there's barely any stack defense here. Like, he has the money to spend, but he didn't throw down additional shield batteries. He's gonna get surrounded.
Just sandwich like that, and beautiful purification over from Stats. I really thought the greed was gonna pay off here for him, Light. I really truly did, but just one good Nova. Seems like that's all Stats needed.
Exactly, that was a beautiful Nova. The disruptors were completely trapped on the side of Stats, but now Stats is coming out with these carriers, but they're walking into their death. What are they doing? No!
Immediately Stats blinks right on top of them, and my hands are on my head right now, like they're on the sides of my head. Pulling up the hair. I really thought Zest was gonna get away with this. He was so cautious. He calculated everything he needed to do to be that greedy and get away with it, but one good Nova.
One
sandwich and Nova.
The miss rally as well. 4 carriers were basically donated to the Shield of Fire. He gets depowered before the carriers come out. They're so close.
And Zest is trying to do as much as he can on the other side of the map, but Stats, he's still got a recall available to him. Exactly. He can still warp in back at home. It's only Zealots.
And the thing is,
they called the shield for nothing.
And those Zealots, they were cleaned up. They are not doing anything across the map. GG gets called.
Not at all how I thought this game would end. GG. Stats taking game number 1. Beautiful tactics coming up from Stats there. I love the strategy from Zest. He knew how defensive Stats wanted to be, so he just got as greedy as he could, but Stats was so patient. He waited till he was maxed out. He split his army so he could sandwich Zest, then just got the Nova of his life. That... honestly, like...
Exactly.
Dios mío.
I was waiting for it.
That's all I have to say about that.
I was waiting for it, and the thing is that, especially in that game, like Zest, like his decision making was great. He was getting away with a lot, but it also felt like he was overconfident. because we were mentioning it. Just before that attack happened, Zest was maxed out. He was banking a lot. There was no reason for him not to throw down additional stack defense to fortify that position so that couldn't happen, right? He had like a single cannon and a single shield battery. That's all he had. Like, mate, you're Protoss. What are you doing, mate? What's the plan here?
Shaking my head. Now, you could try to argue that, oh yeah, getting more shield batteries is going to help against a Nova like that. Well, maybe not, but even SimCity could help out in some way,
well,
right?
ideally, like, you don't, because of your defensive position and ideally your stack defense, you don't allow those zealots to, like, corner your army like that and allow that disruptor shot to happen, because he was absolutely trapped. He couldn't do anything to get away from there.
That he could not, but that's why we're on a new map now, Light. More opportunities. No longer are these players trapped in whatever they were doing in game number 1. We're in game number 2 on Death Aura. LE and... Okay, gotta make this quick. Right, go to the blue Protoss player coming out from South Korea, representing a freak of freaks. C+ arrays. He is Stats, boy.
And spawning in the top left. The reason why we were freaking out is because this player right here, I love it. This is why he's the more aggressive player of the two. On the other end of that spectrum, we have the Protoss player from South Korea, representing DPG, Dragon Phoenix Gaming, going for the cannon rush. It is Zest.
He absorbed patience after beating him.
He ate. He ate the Sultana. He ate the brain.
He ate it. And it gave him its powers. I do worry a little bit specifically about the player that Zest is doing this against. I mean,
I love this.
He's doing a very competent cannon rush here. He got the double cannons. He's making sure he has high ground vision. Mm-hmm. But Stats, though, you always want to give him the edge in a position like this.
Like, Stats did something that I haven't seen a Protoss player do before. He walled these probes in. Like, the SimCity, the building placement slowed down any of these cannons from going up. Now they finally are going up, to be fair, but Stats, like, his cannon on the high ground will finish a little bit faster, but there are so many cannons being thrown down from the side.
He's walling his probes in again, Light.
He is. He was trying to.
Yeah, he just needs a bit more resources to trap that sort of northern position. The probes will go down, but I think it's a lot of cannons over here for Zest, Light.
4 cannons, mate. 4 cannons are about to finish up.
I don't care how well he battery overcharges.
Yeah, and now the cannon of Stats has fallen. There are 2 cannons left, 2 versus 2 it looks like, and it looks like the cannons of Stats will succeed. No, they won't. Oh my god.
No, they won't. The shield battery's out of position. And Stats unable to get anything out of his gateway. He spent a lot of money getting those cannons out and trying to get that wall that he couldn't afford a cyber core.
That's it.
There we go. GG. Zest tying up the series. Remember how you said we were gonna have a longer series because it's Zest and Stats?
Oh, I love it. I apologize that game was very chaotic, so I didn't update the scores, but we are now tied up 1-1.
That we are. I like to imagine that Patience is just phoning up Zest and be like, yo, you beat me, so I'm obligated to give you my knowledge. Tell you what you gotta do.
Oh boy.
Eat my Sultana.
And eat it he did. What a game number 2. With that, in a very quick, 2-3 minute game, Zest tied it up.
Sideways 1-1. Here's hoping we don't get too many of those for the rest of the series. As we continue on to Jagannatha, KBBL 98.5.
There we go. That's where we are loading in, and what a cannon rush there by Zest. I'd be surprised if he whips it out on another map in this series. We'll see if he does so.
I think he might throw it in if things get a little desperate, but he's definitely not going to do it on Jagannatha. It is not a good map for that. But as we do continue on here, Jagannatha, LE 98.5. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Protoss player coming out of the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing a freak of freaks. Are you free?
Down under.
He is the Shield of Aya, representing the freak of freaks. I think I already said that. We have stats. Oi.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red. He is representing his new team, Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. Tying up the series 1-1 with that amazing cannon rush, it is Zest.
Oh boy. So we should be seeing a bit more of a standard one here on Jagannatha. Again, not a very good map for cannon rush in general. And assuming that your opponent is aware of where the proxy locations are on this map, and there aren't that many to begin with, it's also going to be harder to sort of blindside your opponent with a proxy.
Oh yeah, definitely. It can be done, but as you said, it is really difficult to pull off. We already had one incredibly long game on Romanticide, but I also would probably say that that's a product of the map itself. Romanticide, like, is quite large.
Definitely.
It's quite defensible, so it's a lot more easier to get into that later stage. Yeah.
It was the reason why we got to the later stage of the game is because Zest kind of rushed it. Took a bit of a shortcut to get there.
He did, and Zest being a little bit cheeky, you know, kind of forcing the probes to be a little bit awkward as they mine.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Some of these probes have to go behind the other patch. Just, you know, it takes about a second longer, which in a mirror matchup can be significant.
Yeah, it definitely can be. You know, every little bit counts, and even allows the pylon to finish there. So Stats is going to be forced to send his stalkers over to deal with it.
Yes, like so. But again, not too big a deal. Stats is still able to transition with his opening in time. Go about that Stargate play that we know him for.
Yeah, once again, just like on the game of Romanticide, we do see that Stargate opening. On Romanticide, Stats did go for double oracles. We'll see if he goes for that once again, or if he goes for something else, you know. We have seen players from time to time go for more like Phoenix-oriented play in PvP. Not quite as often, and not really Stats style, but it's possible.
Very much is. But I'll believe it when I see it, honestly.
Yeah. The more
Sats is definitely the type of player who, I mean, Sats does switch things up quite a bit in series, but I feel like he's the type of player where he views it in the lens of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? He'll switch things up either if his opening doesn't work, or it works, but it took a bit more effort than it should have.
Yeah, definitely. As we do see Stats as being a little bit aggressive here across the map. Ooh, nice. Force Fields does get a free Stalker.
Nicely done here for Zest. Especially since it's a mostly sentry-based army. It doesn't have a lot of damage. Could have been very disastrous. Honestly, 4 Stalkers at, what, 2 shots sentries? Might even one-shot them if my math is right.
Oh, but it looks like Zest is being pulled apart a little bit. He did scout the Stargate, so he did go back to make sure he had a defense for the Oracle, and as a result, he did end up losing that shield battery on the low ground.
And now there's not much to really keep this Nexus alive. Zest actually taking this arguably more seriously than he should.
Yeah, I mean, he's really afraid of that Oracle, but with this shield battery, he should be feeling a little bit more confident to go to that low ground and keep his Nexus alive. Across the map, he did warp in a couple of Adepts, trying to deal some damage here. He's actually warping in a couple more Adepts, looking to try and sneak into the main of Stats.
And 1 second that Stats isn't looking at the side of the map is all he needs. Or all Zest really needs to go in and be a complete nuisance to these mineral lines.
Ooh, and the Stalkers, they do catch the Adepts, but they are quite out of position as, oh, never mind, recall.
Of course it's a recall. Alright, interesting. Zest not willing to make those units expendable. Zest is pulling another patience. Like,
he's pulling a patience. I love it. He's taking his play. One proxy pylon goes down. Just throw it down like a couple meters over. That's all you need.
Yeah, he felt inspired.
Oh my god.
And now he's committing even harder to this double gate proxy. Heck yes, is all I have to say.
Oh god, and the thing is that, like, Stats, there's no reason for him to check over there. He already dealt with the proxy pylon. He's like, okay, I've dealt with it. I don't need to check that area once again. So Zest will get away with this for now, as he is making quite a number of stalkers and sentries.
Well, I guess more accurately, it's Stats doesn't think there's a reason to check there. Or Stats thinks there's no reason to check over there. He was not watching the Patience game. He was busy in his own series against Dream.
That he was. Also,
alright, losing one of his oracles.
He does, and also the Revelation misses the army. He ends up tagging the Nexus, so when Zest pushes out, there won't be any eyes on this. And Stats is expanding, taking that third. I'm still waiting for Zest to utilize these gateways, and there we go.
There we go. Gateways just finished up. Stalkers are coming in. Blink did finish a while ago for Zest, and he won't have the upgrade advantage. Funnily enough, I thought he got it forged a little earlier, but no, we're just working on it now. It's transitioning to charges, though.
Yeah, and we'll see if Stats can muster a defense. He doesn't have any sack defense here. He does have one shield battery over to the left-hand side. Here come the Stalkers.
And trying to do as much as it can. Zest should have a little bit of an advantage over here, just based on this army count, and he will be sending a couple of sentries, but considering the defender's advantage and the shield battery stats, it's anyone's game at the moment. Force fields were decent, but not quite enough. It does block off the Immortal, and does take advantage of that, picking off as many sentries as or stalkers rather as he can. But now he's starting to get blocked in with the Immortal and forced to back away. We are, in fact, getting that fabled longer game we were promised, Light.
Yeah, Stats defended beautifully there. Zest, he kind of left his sentries exposed. As soon as that happened, Stats pounced on top of them, took out every single sentry of Zest, and now he's going to be forced back, especially with this Immortal.
And now trying to utilize his Blink play as much as he can, but Stats, he is no slouch in that regard either. Charge is going to be finished up very soon to Zest, so yeah, just trying to get a little bit of a buffer. A couple of zealots that can really tank the damage from the Immortal, but so is Stats. You gotta say, he's continuing to harass with his Oracle. Thought that losing one of them was gonna be the end of that, but no. Stats, he is committed, taking out 8 of these workers immediately. He's ahead 20 workers here, Light, and he's just continuing to macro.
Exactly. There's nothing to stop this Oracle. The problem is that Zest kind of tunnel visioned across the map, so he didn't have anything at home to defend, so that Oracle kind of had free reign over that third base mineral line, and with that Stats, with the faster third base, has so far ahead in the economy. Zest, he's got to do something.
He does. But not quite finding it. Again, Stats living up to his title of that Shield of Ire, blocking every single one of these entrance points whenever Zest tries to go that way.
Yeah.
And he's recognized the transition Zest wants to go for, so now he's working on Archons of his own.
Exactly, and Zest, sure, +1 just finished up, but Stats already had +1. He's already more than halfway through +2.
Dude. Stats with the decision making.
Yeah, and with this, like, the engagement does happen, but the zealots of Stats is just overwhelming those of Zest, and Zest is forced to blink backwards, and he can't find much here. The GG gets called.
Stats going to match point. Going to match point. This series has gone by quicker than Patience versus Zest so far.
Exactly. Just Zest forced all in there, like, because of all the damage that he was taking at home. It's like I have to try and end it. Like, what do I do from here? I'm not gonna go like into the late game behind against Stats. You know, that's why I was so greedy in the previous game on the Romanticide. Like, I need that edge, and taps out.
But you know what? He's no longer raised his edge.
True. He is a phoenix.
One of many in StarCraft 2.
One of many.
So many players with that name. Or that handle, I swear to God.
And we will see if he can bring it back here. Again, Phoenix coming back, rising from the ashes. Can he do so here? Can he bring it back? Can he take it to the ace match?
Or will he be a dragon and get rained on like a freak? No, that's well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, we are now continuing to Oxide LE. We be breathing, we be oxidizing, and this player over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, he be breathing easy. The blue Protoss player coming out from the land of South Korea. He is known to bless the rains. Putting it over to you.
Down under.
He is Stats, boy.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red. He is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. DPG. It is Zest.
So, Stats on match point. I was half expecting Zest to pull off something a little bit riskier, but no, he's playing it safe for the moment.
Yeah, there aren't any like proxies out on the map. There are probes, but they are just kind of checking each other, being annoying, throwing down pylons, delaying said naturals.
Annoying as can be. So, kind of a mirrored opening at the moment, which we've come to kind of expect on Oxide.
That we have. We'll see if they go one step further and throw down the cyber to delay that natural even more.
That we're gonna have to look out for. Zest at the moment, he is the player with the healthier probe on his opponent's side of the map.
Well, that he does.
Tried to go for a gas seal, it seemed, but Stats unfortunately already had the gas.
Unfortunately. They're both being annoying.
Stats,
and
meanwhile,
yeah, they do force each other to get zealots out to deal with those pylons. And Stats.
He's going for it. He's going for it.
Oh.
Stats is going for it. He does get the gateway. No, it's a cybercore. It's a cybercore.
And we should see Zest do the same here across the map. Yep,
he's there. Goes for the cybercore. Again, mirror build.
Yeah. This is just hashtag just Protoss things.
I feel like it only happens on Oxide too. Forces a recall on that probe. That's gonna be a hit, one probe, and you know what? That's all it's gonna come down to.
Yeah, he wanted to keep that probe alive. And in the end, they will expand. It will take a while. Oh, like the cybercore for Zest is staying here a lot longer.
Yeah. Canceled right at the last moment here. I want to say Stats canceled his cybercore earlier. Yeah. Sorry what it was. But that's just wanting to make sure that he delays that natural of Stats for as long as possible. And considering that Zest's base is already halfway done, I mean, that's not something to underestimate. Zest is going to have quite the economic lead. Not only does it mean he has an extra base, it means that he's able to pump out more probes a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's not insignificant, that lead that he has with that natural base. We do see Zest is even making sure he scouts his opponent, throwing out those Halukes, seeing what the tech is for Stats, and I believe Zest, he did scout that Twilight Council. Likewise, so has Stats.
Yeah. It's a mirror to the soul, but not quite. Zest is going to be prioritizing a robo facility where Stats going for that forge. So I think we're going to see a similar case to game number 3 that we just had in Jagannatha. Stats going to be the defensive player, Zest going to be the aggressor. Who saw that one coming?
Yeah. Stats opting to go for a more stalker heavy composition with blink and +1, whereas Zest is looking to work on that immortal count instead, to try and power his way through the stalkers of Stats, and also get out that war prison to be the aggressor, to warp in offensively across the map. So we'll see how Zest is able to do. Both players are checking each other, making sure there's no proxies, just getting on top of their scouting. And yeah, Stats will see this, so he should be aware of what's coming.
And now he's just looking to prepare for the inevitable.
Yeah, the inevitable third.
Breath of base. Let's go see it. But knowing stats, he probably doesn't care.
Interesting. I mean, they both end up going for their expansions. They both go for their thirds. Sorry, Zest is moving out.
I feel like this is finally that longer game we thought we were gonna get. Well, potentially. As you say, Zest is moving out, and you know, if he tunnel visions like he did in Jagannatha, or if Stats is able to force it all in, which at the moment I'm not sure how he's gonna be able to do that, then we might not be having that macro game.
Yeah, I mean, Zest is the aggressor here. We do see the War Prism going across the map. It was spotted by the hallucination, and if perchance something disastrous happens and Stats is able to kill the War Prism, then he can just go with that momentum and just go across the map and deal some damage that way. But at the moment, Zest, he is here. He did take down the rocks, looking to try and push in.
But not quite finding that angle yet. He needs a bit more of a buffer here for his own immortal. The War Prism super exposed right now for Stats! Backs away right at the last minute. No, Stats!
I
held my breath here. I held my breath. I thought I was going to keep it alive.
Oh, God.
Get taken out by Zest.
Exactly.
And now Stats keeping himself super exposed.
Exactly, like Stats, he did lose that War Prism. Zest, somehow he kept his own alive, and with that he's able to continue to warp in more and more Stalkers offensively across the map.
This is not the shield we expected, or that we expect from Stats. Not the kind of defense.
Yeah, slipping up a little bit a couple of times so far. We'll see if Zest can keep up this momentum. Still only has one immortal with this army and continue to pump out 3 probes at a time across the map.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to underestimate the defender's advantage of Stats, but he doesn't want to overestimate it either. I mean, he's just going back on home. Honestly,
I think Zest could have stayed. Like, look at the supply difference. He's up 10 supply. Like, he could have kept pushing on forward. And it took a while for this immortal to come out for Stats, so more damage could have been done. But instead, Zest respects his opponent, does back off.
Yeah, he remembers that every time Stats slips up on the defense, it just means he's getting ready for another harder, more clutch one. Defense.
Oh boy. And now Stats, he's pushing out, which is a little bit bold, I must say. He does have a War Prism on the way, so it is looking to go across the map and reinforce. So it is now Stats' turn, question mark? Oh, no, guess not.
Yeah, it's definitely being very bold, but I feel like this is more just for map control at the moment. Surely utilizing his Stalkers here, just wants to have a bit of a presence here. Oof. Make sure that Zest can't comfortably assert himself. And you know what, if he's able to pick off the War Prism, then that's just kind of a freebie.
True, the War Prism is quite low. It'll only take one volley to take it out, but he has to be careful here. Every single time, Zest, it feels like he's coming out ahead in these small skirmishes.
Yeah, well, he has a much bigger army when it comes to these skirmishes.
Oh, not here.
Immortal, but this might be a bit of a different story. Stats waiting for his opponent to get a little bit too close. Oh, but forces back away once he sees the rest of the army.
Oh, that he does. Meanwhile, a bunch of Zealots are being warped in. Charge is going to finish up in a couple of seconds, but it's not done quite yet.
Now it is for Zest, but Stats, he just finished up +2. And now the army is looking to sandwich. The War Prism is still alive. Looking to get as much maneuverability as possible. The shield battery is out of energy, but he can definitely still battery overcharge that. It looks like the Zealots of Stats have been done for, and I think we're getting a race match.
Ooh, a couple of Zealots do come in, but so do those of Zest, and GG gets called.
We have not gotten a game that went past 10 minutes yet, Light.
No.
At least I don't recall. I think Romanticide did, but as you said, that was more of a product of the map.
Yeah, Romanticide was the longest one so far, but even then, it pales in comparison to the series that we had between Zest and Patience, and GG. Just like that previous series, we are going to that ace match.
Indeed, we are, and I feel like we haven't been disappointed too much yet when it comes to this series. We were worried, we had 2 semifinals go right to the end of the ace match, but now, and we were worried that meant that this would be a bit of a one-sided finals, but now, I mean, we're seeing that it is very, very close. It does come down more to the first player to make a mistake and the other player to capitalize on that.
Yeah, and we saw that was stats in that previous game where just some missed micro, like losing that war prism, just kind of blundering the defense a little bit, and Zest was able to just keep up that momentum for the entire game, culminating in the end of it. But we're done with that. We're here. It's the ace match.
It is the ace match, and what a more fitting map to end tonight on, Light, than Lightshade LE. We're here spawning in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. The blue Protoss player coming out from the land of South Korea. He is representing a freak of freaks. Are you free?
TV.
He is the CEO of that organization known as S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury himself. He is Stats.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have his opponents, the other South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. It is Zest.
I just realized this might be a first for ESL Asia. We have not seen Submarine tonight, have we?
Oh my god. I
don't think we have. At least we didn't cast it.
Yeah, I think this is a first because you're right. We usually have Submarine in ESL Asia. It's not uncommon. It's actually pretty common to see it multiple times throughout the night, and we have just not seen. We're not going to see it today.
Apparently not. But
Wow.
I do think that a fitting end to this tournament, especially with Zest involved, would be on Lightshade. Hopefully he took some inspiration from Patience.
I was hoping for it. I was keeping an eye on the minimap, and I'm disappointed that there isn't a pylon in the center of the map somewhere with a proxy robo. So goddamn it, Zest needs to work on those sultanas. Yeah, he needs more of them. But we'll see. Again, like, these are two of the best Protoss players in the world. The one, of course, the only one missing here, really, who was a regular, but it's understandable why he's not, is Trap. And you were talking about it earlier. Like, this is a bit of a sneak peek into this weekend. IEM Katowice. We get to find out who will be a worthy successor to Rain.
Yeah. Indeed.
I realized that we didn't.
Yeah.
I realized I need to work him in there somehow. Oh boy.
Did Rain win a IEM World Championship?
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, because he was participating.
He won an IEM Cologne, didn't he?
Yeah. Not a Katowice, but he won an IEM.
Right. But yeah, back then it wasn't Katowice. Katowice wasn't the sole World Championship for IEM. They sort of switched around a couple of German cities until finally they decided, you know what? Only Poland. This is the only place we can afford.
Oh god. But yeah, speaking of Rain, I wouldn't be surprised. To be fair, I don't think he's in the military right now. He could be showing up at BlizzCon.
He's actually, you know what? I gotta bring this up because he and I are a bit of kindred spirits here. Or not kindred spirits, but a little bit relatable. He's actually exempt from military service.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, what happened was he, I think, donated some of his liver to his dad or something like that, and because of that, the military thought, you know what? If he ends up like getting hospitalized in our care, then that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
That's fair. I know Rain, he's pretty active on YouTube. Like, he was a pro gamer in Brood War when he went back after SC2, but yeah, he's pretty active there. So we may see more of him in the coming months.
Yeah, I'm just saying, StarCraft Legends, you're getting. I mean, Rain really is a legend in both Brood War and StarCraft 2. And now the Intent's coming in for stats, and they do pick up one of the 8 sentries, the other one as well. Every single one of these, not going to be enough to deal with these Stalkers, but forces a battery overcharge, and Stats is going to make it out here with actually still getting quite a number of probes, all things considered.
Yeah, exactly.
Just continue on.
We've seen a couple of players do this before, and I'm surprised that Stats of all people is going to be the aggressor here in this series, as he does go for quite a number of adepts. He immediately focused down every single sentry, and now so many probes on the side of Zest have gone down. But Zest, he is still ahead in that worker count.
surprisingly, despite losing 8 of his probes.
It goes to show how committed Stats was. Like, he cut quite a bit of his worker production to make this happen. To be fair, he still has these adepts out on the map, and ooh, he even joins
and
up.
they're in the warp prism now.
That they are.
They're going for it.
Oh, he's gonna be intercepted.
Might be the stalker. Not quite yet. There is a spotter pylon over there, and it looks like Zest is gonna be regrouping closer to the main base, but yeah, he's going straight forward. He sees the warp prism now. One bad warp in here for Stats, and that's gonna be it. He's gonna run completely out of steam, so he's taking it a little bit safe, playing it safe rather, and just settling for a handful of probes.
But you know what, Zest
still behind.
He's hunting that warp prism. He's out here. He's like he's hoping that it backs off into him, but in the end, it looks like Stats has evaded Zest. Zest does end up pulling back, but Zest still with a slight worker lead.
Yeah, ever so slight at the moment, but it's not just the workers he's ahead, and he's doing pretty good tech-wise. Obviously, Stats was the first player to get a row facility, but Zest, he's already finishing Blink, where it's still quite a ways off of Stats. We'll see how much that comes into play, considering Stats still has 2 Immortals.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, because I'm sure Zest would love to be active out on the map with his Blink, but he can't because of this Warp Prism. Like, he can't leave. If he leaves, then
it's haunting him.
Yeah, at any moment, Stats could dive in with the Warp Prism, warp in more depths, and things can get out of hand. So he has to make sure he respects the Warp Prism, and he's looking to hunt it down. This time with Blink, but yeah, not quite. The rally, the pathing isn't quite there yet.
Nor is it for Stats. Could lose a couple of units over here. And the Immortals do make their mark. For the first time in the series, Stats is being the aggressor.
Ooh, that he is. He's being active out here with his Immortals, with his War Prism. Behind this, he is expanding, so this isn't like all in or anything. He does have a backup plan, but he's still looking to deal some damage here as Zest kind of misses the army. Oh, okay, yeah, he turns back.
Does turn back, but he gets right on top of the face of a couple of Immortals. Zest really trying to figure out how to maneuver this. He's going a little bit back and forth. A couple of these sentries are very exposed. Oh, but a hot pickup from Stats. Did you see that light? One second.
Yeah, just barely saving those sentries, and he does get up the ramp. Oh, and the Stalkers do face off against each other.
Yeah, I was really worried the Warp Prism was looking so exposed, but Stats, he blinked back right when he needed to. Knew how much of a risk that was going to be. Another battery overcharge being popped over here for Zest, but I feel like Stats can just sort of wait this out, and I mean, his army composition is so much better than Zest at the moment.
Oh yeah, just
Blink
the power in those Colossus is insane. Even force fields out the Stalkers, but Zest, he blinks in and focuses down the Warp Prism.
Very nicely done, but what about the Immortals? They are starting to get weathered down. Stats still has a lot of Stalkers in play, however. Without the Immortals, it does make it a little harder, but not impossible for him. It's going to come down to Defender's Advantage and Blink Micro.
Exactly, that's what it's going to come down to. And with that, Zest, he's warping in more and more Stalkers, and with this, he should be able to defend, especially since Stats, he just can't reinforce.
No, he cannot. The supplies are finally starting to equalize. Zest taking a bit of an upper hand. Stats is not all in. He did take a 3rd base earlier on. But this attack, I mean, he wanted to end the game, but no, it's just out of steam.
Exactly. The Immortal count was reset, and Zest was able to survive. But as you said, sure, he's going for the expansion, but Stats, he's already had it for quite some time, already starting to exceed Zest in that worker count.
First time in this game, I think.
Oh boy. And
now our players are just getting ready for round 2.
Yeah, to be fair, Zest will have a timing. Like, Zest already finished his Forge. He is already working on +1, and that will hit so much faster than that of Stats, because Stats, his Forge is still on the way. So Zest could utilize that to his advantage and try and deal some damage.
If he's aware, I don't believe he got much scouting on at Stats' side of map. For all you know, Stats was continuing to get a Forge and at around the same time, and is about to be finishing up +1.
Yeah, exactly. He's in a little bit in the dark as he's going across the map with this hallucination, and with this he will see the worker counts at that 3rd.
Very well saturated, and Zest kind of on the back foot here. I mean, he knows he needs to be aggressive, but doesn't quite know how.
That's the thing, like, honestly, that should be like the thing, the big tell, right? Seeing a fully saturated third base is like, oh my god, this guy has committed so much to his economy, I have to do something across the map. The problem is he's pushing out at the same time. Stats, he's pushing in.
This time with Adepts, so yeah, once again, oh, actually Zealots this time, not Adepts.
Ooh.
So yeah, may be able to force the all-in coming here from Zest. Actually brings the entire army home. Buys Stats so much time to get his upgrades on the way.
Oh boy, a bit of a mistake there. Zest, he does come all the way back home with every single one of his units. The recall gets used on the War Prism, staying alive, and Stats expands and takes a fourth.
Takes a fourth, finish up his Templar archives, gets an Archon. As time goes on, things are just looking better and better for Stats, I gotta say.
Yeah, like, from here, Zest has to pull a patience, like, double expand, tech up, throw down a bunch of stuff, like, be the defender, right? Either that, or just go across the map and try and do something, like, blink into the main, make some magic happen. And to be fair, he was trying, but he was pulled back earlier.
He was. And Stats ain't gonna make the same mistake twice. He is now ahead in army. Upgrades are about equal. Zest will be getting +2 pretty shortly, but honestly, PvP, I mean, it depends on what unit composition you have, right? The unit composition you have will really make a difference with how effective upgrades are going to be.
Definitely. Oh boy, and we do see Zest, he is hiding, waiting in the bushes, waiting for his opponent to try and go through this choke point. So he does delay Stats a little bit, but Zest playing with fire.
But he doesn't quite get burned yet. Stats will unknowingly think he has to go the other way. I mean, this just buys Zest more and more time. He's getting more robo facilities. That's a lot.
It is. He's going
2 at the moment.
Exactly. He's going to try and go straight into disruptors. But will the game last that long? Like, Stats' army is looking terrifying.
Really is. Zest does have a +2 advantage, and Stats actually not working on weapons, trying to go for armor.
Oh god, but again, like Zest, he's just testing the waters. He does have defender's advantage, as you said, with all this stack defense, but Stats, he has gone off the high ground. The Immortal, he gets it for free.
Just like so, popping it off the face of the earth. And now Stats with that Immortal advantage. Really good choke point Zest is utilizing here with the Zealots. More and more of them do get warped in, but Stats still has the upper hand at the moment. Archon's starting to get very exposed as Stats is forced to blink backwards. Haluk Colossus actually slowing down the army so much here of Zest.
Oh god, that it is. And Zest, he's forced all the way behind his third base. He is trading as best he can, and he has amazing blink micro, but the shield batteries, they run out of energy.
Indeed, they do. I believe battery overcharges used earlier on, unable to use a second one. And even if he did, you know, what is he going to keep alive?
Nothing.
There we have it. GG's call. Stats! It was a very close series, but in the end, will maintain his record as the winningest ESL Asia champion. GG is called. What a day of PvPs we've had today, Light, but Stats still emerging as a clear favorite.
GG, well played. Zest, he looks so good today again. Like, I don't think very highly of his PvP, but he was able to clutch it out against Patience, and he took it all the way to the grand finals. Sorry, to the ace match against Stats as well. Really well played. GG.
GG indeed. That was a little bit of a preview that we had here going into this weekend.
Oh yeah. Again, as a reminder to everyone who may not be aware, this weekend is, of course, the beginning of IEM Katowice, the beginning of the 2020 Grand Final World Finals. Is that what it? Yeah. 2020 slash 2021
finals. World finals. Yeah, 2020 slash 2021 Pro Circuit finals.
Yeah.
As you can call it.
Everything in 2020, all those dream hacks, they're finally coming to fruition here in the beginning of 2021. It's been a long year. It's been a long 2020, but we're getting there. And everyone be sure to tune in. Like, obviously we won't be casting that. We were able to cast IM Katowice last year, but like, again, the format is very different this year. I don't think they're taking community casters. If they are, then of course we will do our best to jump on that. But I think because it's online, because I think they're trying to cover everything that they can themselves.
Yeah, and they should be able to do so with a little bit more ease this time. Yeah, when COVID hit, it was kind of a shock and didn't exactly have real good contingency plans. However, this time they do.
This time they do. Once again, congratulations to Stats. Very hard fought series. Again, everyone exclamation mark B to look at that brackets. There's a lot of Protoss there, but we had some standout performances. We didn't get to see him, but shout out to Dream for making it all the way to the semis, representing Terran as best he could.
Yeah, not just Terran, but every non-Protoss player watching.
Pretty much. And if you're wondering, hey, where are all the other non-Protoss players? Where are all the Zergs? I'm sure they are practicing very hard, doing customs, getting ready for the weekend.
Or so we hope.
Maybe they're just celebrating Lunar New Year. It's possible.
Very possible. Drinking more.
Exactly. And with that, we do come to the close of this tournament. Yaku, who are you?
Yes. Who am I?
Who are you?
Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I'm gonna continue on my saga into the Long Dark tomorrow.
Ooh.
Don't think I'll be streaming ladder, but yeah, I think I'd rather just play that on my own, practice on my own and whatnot. I could be persuaded to stream ladder, but yeah, I'm just gonna continue on the Long Dark. If Zerg Troll's watching, that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh.
Twitter.com @Empora Yakuzaku ! Discord in the chat. You can find myself as well as the other members of CranKy over there, and apart from that, buy my shirts. Where can we find you, Light?
Ooh, you can find me at light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. You can follow me there. I do stream occasionally. I've been streaming a little bit more often. Some ladder sessions, some team games. Earlier today, I did some team games with Ducklings, of course, one of the Latin American admins that we have in StarCraft. Or you can follow us. You can tune in to me and Milk just yelling at Yaku, and it's amazing. It's a good time. It's a great time.
And you can gather it for evidence.
Exactly. Also, I didn't realize this was a thing. We can what is happening?
You. I think Kuro just put it in.
What is she doing?
I think Kuro just put it in.
Dame, tírale, Yaku. Do it. Send it out. Give them what they want.
What?
I love it. Oh my god, that is way too cheap, by the way. Kuro, stop. This is getting out of hand. It's too much. We're done. As you can see, for those, there are probably people watching that don't even know what that is. That's a Latin American thing. But if you enjoyed our cast, then do hit that follow button. As you can see on the screen right now, we are live throughout the week. We are live 5 days out of the 7 this week. We do have an extra day off there, as NA Apprentice did finish up for the first season of 2021, but we have plenty more in store for you. We will be live in 11 hours and 33 minutes with ESL Open Cup Americas. I will be casting that alongside Milk and Cookies, the resident American caster, I guess, in the CranKy Ducklings. And of course, we have so much more to offer here on this channel. So if you want to, if you enjoyed it, yeah.
I was just saying, you're going to want to tune into ESL Americas and, if possible, EU tonight as well, as, again, just going to be these are the last ESL weeklies before the World Championship.
Exactly. It's your last chance to look at how these players are performing before the weekend, before IEM Katowice. And of course, if you want to tune in to more, or if you want to be notified for when we go live, check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Discord, as we do notify everyone when we go live, when we come out with VODs, when we come out with information graphics as well, and whatever we can to support players and support the StarCraft scene as best we can. You can also check out our YouTube channel, as we upload all of our VODs to YouTube, every single one of them, split up by series, split up by tournament series as well. If you want to follow a particular player or particular tournament, it is all there available for you. So check all of that out. And if you want to go that step further, you can also check out our Patreon and support us monetarily a little bit more directly, as our Patreon is set up to grow our tournaments that we run, you know, grow the prize pool, be able to pay out the players more, be able to pay out more players and the admins as well. It is set up very much like Olima League. So if you want that, you can go for that. Anything else, Yaku?
I can't do the Lunar New Year thing anymore. Well, I guess I can because it's 15 days. Moo!
Happy Lunar New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Moo.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.